It's Rydo, and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, May 11th, and we are going through a ton of news and a ton of things to do. It's going to be a long day, I can tell already. Although, now that we're on our European account, we could potentially, in less than an hour, get this done pretty easily. I need to defeat 3 monsters and Monster Hunt bosses to get a card pack and get 1 victory. That's not really asking too much. The Tavern Brawl is still the one we've already done. Let's just come back here and double check, because I might be able to get a victory with a Paladin and Warrior in the Monster Hunt victory. I don't think it would count, but the phrasing has been changed too. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to be technically playing as a mage. We might as well go forward and see. We need to look and see what strategy I was playing before. I've been mostly, I think, playing these for not particularly open the way gate, but open by getting random cards. So do I want open the way gate, which I'll probably never use, or this? I'm going to take this and move forward. Lots and lots of games, but most of them so far have been really bad quality games too. So Friday feels kind of like the day bad games get released. Next game we have on Steam is called Airbow. It's from a developer who's put out a ton of things. It looks like MS Paint graphics. 40% off for 59 cents. No reviews, clearly. Yeah, no surprise there. It's garbage. Let's move forward to the next game. So double time is enabled, so we'll take that on. Next game we have on Steam is called Extreme Formula Championship. Now this, looking at the screen as my screen is set up now, because my screen is currently messed up and making everything a lot smaller than I would prefer it to be. This looks like a Nintendo 64 GameCube style F1 racer game. Graphics look kind of dated, but not so terrible. It says it's available at all app stores worldwide, which tells me this is probably a mobile port, and that would explain the lacking graphics. It's, let's see. Yeah, it's from a developer who has a bunch of games, but none of them are rated. So this does feel like a cell phone port at full price, I think, for $6.89, and no reviews, and easy enough to ignore. So double time doubles the first spell you play in the turn, and it took me nearly beating all of the battles, like playing 100 battles, to finally realize that's what double time did, because I could have sworn it did. It was supposed to double all spells, and in the case of playing secrets, it can only play 1 secret anyway, so double time is pretty useless with those. Nor does double time seem to work with this character twice. Yes, definitely can't suggest anybody play Extreme Formula Championship. There probably is a good Formula 1 racing game on Steam. I couldn't tell you what it is right now, however. Do I want to do that? I don't think I want to do that. I'm gonna reset this turn, and instead I'm just gonna play this with this. Next game we have is called Howlville: The Dark Past. It looks like a hidden object game from a developer who's only made one other game that looks like a hidden object game. So it might be slightly better than buying the hidden object games that are developed by the same company over and over again, but frankly I think all of these games are made in the same hidden object maker software, so there's really no level of quality that would ever change. Let's see. I'm gonna take this. Six damage here. And then kill this guy. Yeah, let's see. How much is this? 25% off for $7.49. So they're still charging a pretty high premium for hidden object games. A lot more. I think probably more than they charge for a lot of other very niche games that are on Steam. Yeah. I'm really gonna get down to the point where I'm not going to have any hidden object games in my wish list. I think I've finally decided just to let them naturally come to me. If there happens to be a sale and I happen to see them even though they're not wish listed, then I'll pick them up. But flooding my wish list with hidden object games is taking me down a path I'm not sure I really want to go down, because they're all the same and they're all pretty poor quality. So while I really don't have too much good or bad to say about Howlville, it's the fact that it's a hidden object game, I think, negates it from me wishlisting it going forward. Next game we have is called Paper Shakespeare: The Stick Merchant of Venice. Let's see. If we do this, we'll get double time, which will put 10 of these cards on my deck, making sure I don't run out of cards and causing a high chance of a string of cards being drawn in a row. Didn't need to do any of those, however. Let's see. Okay, Paper Shakespeare literally is MS Paint graphics. I've been calling some games MS Paint graphics, but this is even worse. Just total and complete and utter garbage. Let's see. Stroke of Midnight, Echo, destroy a random enemy minion. Transform all minions to random ones that cost 3 more. Swap hands with your opponent. This is by far the best choice. And we don't want to do machines. Spells. I'll take chaos and move forward. Yes, this developer apparently has made several games that are stick figure-esque games. Just extremely low quality games. Nothing he has is rated positive, except for every game we've ever made bundle. There's no reviews for this game, obviously. It's $1.99. Even at $1.99, it's not worth even considering. It's just laughably, horribly bad. Not visually appealing. Moving on. Next game we have is a game called Odium to the Core. I could have sworn I've seen a game very much like this. Maybe it was covered in early access and now it's coming out of early access. It is a screen rotating, floating game with a little bit of a bullet hell shooter into it. It definitely has a very specific art style, very bright and colorful with reds and greens, and a lot of black shadows to give a dark appealing appearance. There's some positive reviews already. It's $2.99. That seems about the right price for a game like this, and this seems like you'd get a decent amount of gameplay out of it. It's the only first game from this developer, but I'm not going to let that deter me. I'm going to put this single button controlled, button music based with 15 levels and a nightmare mode game. I'm going to let that be in my wish list. We'll see if we can get it on sale during a Steam sale. And if it's music based, that I think helps it too, and they keeping it as a limited experience where it's not 30 or 100 levels. Probably will keep the level of difficulty down from getting crazy bad. So here we play this and see what happens. That worked the way we wanted, so we're good. Next game we have on Steam is called Froggy Boy, B-O-I. It's MS Paint graphics again. Seems like somebody flooded the market with MS Paint graphics games. And see, that's kind of how you know people aren't paying attention enough. If somebody was paying attention, they would have seen this they definitely would have seen that this game is hideous looking, just awful. It's 40% off for 59 cents. Nobody's reviewed it. Nobody needs to ever play this game. It looks like it's a platformer where you're shooting frogs, but it's so poorly programmed that when your projectiles hit the frogs, they just turn into red squares. Like, if this is an attempt at some kind of deep commentary on old bad games, you're really not accomplishing that. I don't like that, so I'm going to try again. If I played this and this, what if I did this? No, I have to do this. That's slightly better. Next game we have on Steam is called Sky Dodge. Again, MS Paint graphics. Is this the same person? I believe it is. As Froggy Boy. Yes, it is. So, same publisher put out a different MS Paint level graphics garbage game. 59 cents. Why you... If you had any interest whatsoever of selling your product for real, and you're not just trying to be funny or something, I don't even know what you're trying to do, but if you had any interest whatsoever, you would not counter advertise against your own product. That didn't play quite the way I was hoping that would work. Let's try this again. What if we did this? And then we did this. Let's see. And I'm gonna play this and then the turn. Yep. Don't need to spend more time on these fake games. Your Gamer has an article. Monster Hunter is coming to the Switch this August. It's going to have a slightly different name than, but be a game that has already come out. It's going to be called Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. It was called, I think, I don't even remember the name of it. I did 5 damage to myself. Let's try that again. Let's deal 5 damage here. And hope it does 5 damage to this guy. Oh well, that worked. Worked a little bit better. A Monster Hunter game on the Switch certainly sounds like a good idea. Monster Hunter certainly has worked rather well for the other consoles that it's been on in the West. And that's not something... There was a guarantee, really. Now, arguably, you could certainly make the argument that Monster Hunter came and went and is no longer as popular as it was before, but it's alright. Next game we have is called Fortune 499. It looks like it CGA graphics, just a lot of pink and a lot of cyan and a lot of blue. It's low resolution RPG of some sort. Old PC RPG. Barely has any graphics at all. It might be telling a decent story, but who would ever know, because it's not on sale. It's like $4.39, I believe, no discount. Couple of recommended reviews that I don't trust. It's just not visually appealing. It is also the first game from this developer though, so at least it's not more of the fake game MS Paint things. But don't worry, because the next game is called God vs. Zombies, and wouldn't you know, it's a it definitely looks like it is a fake game MS Paint thing. I don't know if this would ever actually work. It feels like every time you try to refresh your hero power for this character, it doesn't work. This is like a top-down MS Paint RPG game. It has no reason whatsoever to be called God vs. Zombies. Let's see. It's from a developer who's made 4 other games on Steam, none of which have ever even gotten reviews. It's early access, 20% off for $3.19. No reviews for this game either. Steam is just not the place to make these garbage efforts. Take that to Indie Gala, take that to Congregate, take that to some place where you're not paying $4. Let's just be honest. Why are you wasting your money Let's see, if I do this with this, that kills 2. That makes that cheaper. And then I can play this. And you know what? I can just win, so I'll just take that victory and move forward. Next game we have on Steam is called Distant Castle. It's English only. I just wanted to make sure of that because it is a unique art style. And I don't know if I call this as much an art style or if this is just a weird combination of half-finished animations and maybe asset flips. Feels a little asset flippy. We haven't used that phrase today at all. Instead, we've had a lot of instances of... Yeah, we'll just play control with a couple of flame strikes. So it says it's a casual action indie RPG adventure, just throwing everything together. 10% off for 89 cents. Not recommended on the reviews. Of the 2 reviews listed, it's not recommended. And that's at 10% off for 89 cents. Let's see, this developer, if they've made anything else. Nope, first game from this developer. Yep, it feels too much like an asset flip and a non-game. I've also decided, on top of Weird Al Yankovic, I've decided to mute Teller of Penn and Teller. Again, not because he specifically posted anything that irritated me, but just because I'm trying to keep my Twitter feed only video game related, and I kind of only follow them on a whim anyways. Alright, here we have a fake game for sure. It's called Life Lessons, and it literally has stolen a cutscene and a few clips from Star Trek The Next Generation in it, where Picard is screaming no and smashing a window. I don't even remember what episode that would have been in. And then they just showed one of the characters from Seinfeld. So this is totally just a meme game. The main parts of the games are very pixely. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. It feels like it's an Atari 2600 game. It looks like one of those. See, this developer hasn't made anything else, and it's selling for 33%. This must have been in the Generations movie when he smashed it, or one of the other movies. It must have not been in the TV series. It's 33% off for $2. No reviews. And a copyright lawsuit pending for Life Lessons. You don't see that too much. In fact, I don't think I've seen it at all before. I've never seen somebody straight up just steal content from major copyright holders like Seinfeld, which I assume would be Paramount, and NBC Universal, I assume, owns all of the Star Trek Next Generation. So, like, I've never seen anybody go that stupid in their ridiculous actions. Let's see. Let's check that this game is in English too. Yes. Next game we have is a game called Rainman, R-E-I-G-N-M-A-N, which I assume is kind of like warring leaders in Chinese history, but what it looks like is a pictorial combination of 2048 mixed into also let's see, well, it's mixed into a full-on mobile game, it seems. And this clearly is a cell phone game, and so just in an effort at the same time, I'm going to say this early access cell phone port for 10% off for $3.59, which I'm sure they're eventually going to have microtransactions in it. Like, PC is just not going to be the place to play this game. Yeah, even if I could fully understand the character collection aspect added to something that seems to be like 2048 and a strategy and puzzle matching or tile swapping and going through different levels to do different kinds of puzzles. The other language it is in is simplified Chinese, which also inherently makes me wonder and suspect heavily that it's a low quality, low effort game. Whether or not that actually is true, that certainly is the feeling I'm left with. Should be fine to win this game. Let's move on. Next game we have on Steam is called Hyper Sentinel. It seems like it's a very fast-paced bullet hell shooter, which is kind of saying something. Maybe not the fastest-paced bullet hell shooter ever, but rather faster than normal. Let's see. We play this, or you know what we need to do is I need to play this. Interesting. It didn't gain any attack. Hyper Sentinel is the only game from this developer. It says it's ready for everybody. I don't believe it. It's 10% off for $13.49. And it's got some positive reviews. And right now, with the way my screen is, I can't immediately ignore this game. Although I probably will. I probably won't put this on my wish list, but I'm gonna say check it out yourself. Once I power through probably a week or two of playing through the Lego games, I at that point will have enough progress made to set my screen back to the way it was. I'll try and power through, I guess, through the weekend. Let's just end our turn. But right now, as we're going through all this news, I'm just gonna say maybe on Hyper Sentinel, maybe not, and not put out even an opinion. Alright. We're gonna do this, and We'll do this. And is this gonna save me somehow? Like if I do this and then do that, I lose. So let's try this again. Okay, that worked a little bit different. Let's attack this guy. And I still lose. Like, you do this, and you're dead. You do this, you can't do 5 damage. And you can't refresh again. Yep. Anyways, moving on to the next article. Gamma Sutra has an article. Nintendo has shut down its debut mobile app, the Miitomo app. I imagine this is because they shut down the Miiverse, and that would make a whole bunch of sense. It's like, even though we lost there, we just need one more boss victory and a paladin and warrior victory, so we're not doing as actually bad. We'll just take on Rottooth and I'll play as the Cannoneer, I guess. Yep, so the Miitomo app is now shut down. Inherently, that's kind of a problem that's going to be with Nintendo mobile games, is the first generation, like they've yet to release one that's actually such a smash breakout hit that it's guaranteed to be as playable or as available as even a used game. Like right now, you can buy used games in the United States for the Wii, and the Wii was like 8 years ago. That's quite a long shelf life. Whereas the Miitomo app, I bet, was barely 2 years old. Next game we have is called Imperi 2. I believe it is... No, it's from a different developer, but it does not look good. It's like a one-screen RPG story game. You can't even really read the text because of the background. Let's see, it's 10% off for $2.69, which was way too expensive, and there's no reviews. And that's Imperi, I-M-P-E-R-I 2. There's really nothing even to say about this game. It's hard to even criticize it. It's so bad. There we go. I have so many games to talk about still. We already talked about Sony updating its warranty terms. I believe Nintendo also has updated their warranty terms. I guess we're waiting for Microsoft to do the same, and maybe some other people too. Apple would be a great one. HP, Dell, some of those companies I imagine would do well to upgrade their terms. There we go. And that is our victory. Next game we have on Steam is called Mage Fort. This one looks like a real game, so I can't so easily just dismiss it. And we'll just leave this Cannoneer run for later. Whenever I get another need to play those. And we get a cannon pack, a classic pack. Be nice to get an epic or legendary or anything whatsoever, but more often than not you end up getting nothing but a rare. And even on my European account, there's a decent chance that 3 or 4 of those cards are duplicate. Four of those were duplicate. Extra cards just turning into dust. We're not anywhere as close as our main account as far as having all of the classic cards. But there's definitely a point we've reached where we kind of have most of them. Let's see if we're in crafting mode. That's the right one. Yep. There's little gaps. I should have just typed in missing as the keyword. It would have been quicker. There's still a considerable amount of legendaries and epics to collect from the main account, but I think at least on my European account, next expansion we've got to open 50 packs of just the next expansion, and hopefully those cards are good and that makes sense. Other thing I need to do is get a Paladin and Warrior victory and play ranked while we're doing it. Ranked, get up on there, and we'll try Rush Warrior. Next game on Steam we have is a game called Mage Fort. It's $7.99. It looks kinda good. It doesn't, however, look $7 good. This is the first game for this developer. It has one suspiciously only one recommended review. It kind of looks like Diablo if a single person was trying to make a game like Diablo and they only had the ability to make Diablo 1 and not move forward into the world of the slight improvements that Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 added to it. Seems like there's some tower defense elements also. And so you're not, I think, particularly crawling through dungeons as much as you might be defending points in dungeons. But I could be wrong about that. I'm watching the demo and it's hard to place it. Says it's single player and multiplayer, 1 to 4 players. There really is just not enough visual polish on this game for it to work for me, though. If there was a game called Mage Fort that looked just a few steps better, I would give it, I'd wishlist it, but it has just a little too much ugly on it. And clearly we're going through so many games that I have to be rather picky. And I'm really not that picky when you consider that I have a wish list of probably 800 games. I have 900 games that I've actually purchased on Steam already, and I've probably only covered about 100 games. So there's a pretty large backlog of games that that I could and go play, or at least spotlight. A lot of them don't have any real relevancy, so I'm waiting for a reason to play them. For instance, Borderlands 2 would be a great reason to play that right now, because we suspect Borderlands 3 is about to be announced, or at least shown a trailer for a release in a year, would be my guess on what they're going to do at E3. If they actually do release Rage 2, then I should go back and play Rage. And I'm not sure I have Rage the Definitive Edition. I may just have the original version of Rage, which might mean I need to purchase the game twice. Next game we have on Steam is called Kinnaman vs. Grey Elephant. I don't know if this is some kind of meme game or what. It's from a developer who has put a few games out. A lot of them are mixed reviews. One of them has positive reviews. This game does not look good. It looks like just a very limited pixely tile-based platformer. 20% off, 25% off for $1.49. Still, it doesn't really feel like it's worth $1.50. There's no reviews. It's funny, I look at how many games the developer has put on Steam before this point, but most of the instances in which it isn't their very first game, it's still a case of, well, they've put out 10 or 12 games and none of them have been positively reviewed. And I honestly don't feel like the successful video games, successful video game companies went through that process. I don't think they put out 12 games on Steam until one hit. I think they played it differently than that. Let's see, is there really anything to say here on this update too? No. Moving on. Doodle God Genesis Secrets is out. I am gonna try some of these Doodle God games because they were pretty fun on mobile, but there's some of the games that the company that makes them and ports them to PC, I mean, first of all, the PC ports, and that's a problem. It's just gonna inherently be low quality. But also, there's some of them are spin-offs of the Doodle God series in weird ways that doesn't make any sense. Doodle God Genesis Secrets seems like it is part hidden object game on top of the mix and match game that we already kind of know it to be. And it's selling for 15% off for $10.19, which is way too expensive. So I'm thinking at some point I might do a full series of games covering the Doodle God series, but I'm gonna have to wait until it gets really cheap. I'm certainly not gonna recommend people spend $10 for this new spin on the same concept. It is one of those companies that just is like, we made Angry Birds that worked, so let's make another game that's based on Angry Birds, and then let's make an Angry Birds movie, and then let's make another Angry Birds game, and let's put Angry Birds in space, and it just keeps going and going and going, much like today's stream. Next article we have, Nicholas announces a crossover puzzle fighting game called Crystal Crisis for the Switch, which has some first generation, you would say, anime characters such as Adam. What's he called in the West? I've forgotten what he's called. Astro Boy, yes. Astro Boy and Blackjack characters in this kind of puzzle fighting game. I'm not sure if this is going to come to the West, but I suspect it will. It seems like Nicholas, as a company, has adopted a interesting idea of taking all of their weird combination of different games to make two different games, Blade Strangers, in which Binding of Isaac and other characters are going to fight each other, and now Crystal Crisis, where they're going to puzzle fight each other. Apparently Nicholas needed some money. It is rather weird, however, to see Isaac from the Binding of Isaac just as a character, just as a playable character out of the blue in other games. This will be our last game for this stream, this recording. We'll break it up into a fourth recording because we still got a ton of things to talk about. Next game we have is some kind of weird game called Slice, where you're cutting and slicing pieces of paper, it seems, in very strategic ways, and they seem like they go through portals and sometimes change colors, and you're trying to get the pieces in specific places as specific colors. It is a kind of simplistic puzzle game, but with a little bit of a twist. So let's see. 10% off for, I believe, $2.89. I'm gonna wishlist this one. We got several recommended reviews, and normally I'd look at the not recommended, but I can't read it on the screen. Developer has made a couple of other games that are mixed, so I would say Slice probably needs a closer look at it, but for now I'm going to tentatively say yes, it is going to be part of the wish list because it looks like an interesting enough puzzle game, physics-based puzzle game. We are still on the European account. We're on to our 4th hour of streaming, basically, maybe a little bit less than that. And we're trying to get a victory on the European account and then the Americas account. As soon as I can get all the news covered, then we could go into a silent post show, and I imagine that is going to happen. But we may even go to a 5th recording at this point because it's just so much. So many games came out this Friday. I have no idea why that is. Is it because I have finally cleared off my Twitter feed to the point where I am actually seeing every game that comes out on Steam? At a certain point, this might just be there might be a straw that breaks the camel's back, and I will have to just say, instead of covering every game, we're going to do a random sampling, or we're just going to stop covering games. In all honesty, I guess if I was streaming every single day, then I could cover every single game that came out and do it a lot quicker, but that is definitely not the goal. That is not something that would ever be acceptable, as playing Hearthstone every day. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, gift me a game on Steam or Battle.net. Well, I don't know if you can actually gift me a game on Battle.net. You could gift me card packs on Battle.net if you wanted to see me open those card packs. I meant to say, or gift me a gift card on Steam. That's it for this recording. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.